guys, what's going on? It's Acelash and welcome back to another video, and today I'm very excited because we're going to be doing a deck guide on one of the decks that I've been using for quite a while now, so I kind of got a sense of what I'm doing. And in these replays I do make a few mistakes, as most players do unless you're a pro player, but I'm going to go through my mistakes, what I did right, what I did wrong, and tips to basically use this deck really well, and some strategies, and we're going to go over a few matchups as well. So today we're going to be getting into some replays. Now this is the deck right here, so you guys can go ahead and copy that. I'm also going to leave a link in the comments below so you can directly copy this deck into your deck slots on Clash Royale. So without any further ado, let's just get into the deck guide. So first of all, we're going to be starting off just doing a replay. Now I'm not too sure what replay it actually is, but we're going to start the replay right now, and we're going to see how we go. So at the moment, I'm versing against Shanty 2793. He's got a golem in the back, so the first thing I'm going to do, luckily, I had Hog Nado in hand. He went for golem at the start. You don't see that too often. Now I went for a log. The reason why I went for a log there is because normally like golem decks, picker decks, normally have like some sort of swarm, but he didn't have it in hand, so it's kind of a high risk, high reward move, the log. I opted to do it, so not too bad there. So basically this deck's good at defending. Now I'm using the Tombstone version in this replay. You can use both versions. It's really up to you. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So at the moment, I've gone for Tombstone and I've gone for Tornado, and that death damage will not hit the tower, and my execution is just doing some work there. And he actually stuffs up a log there, so that log actually does not hit my Xe. But either way, he doesn't get much damage to the tower. He's done about 700 damage, just a bit over that, onto my tower. So at the moment, everything's looking good. So I just placed down a knight because, like, what I tend to do with this deck is if I can, and I have a reasonable amount of elixir, I do actually opt to put a knight in front of the executioner there just to protect it. So they have to force them. The player has to force a response to that executioner. Now here I did make a really bad mistake, as you guys can probably tell there. The hog didn't get a swing solely because my log was just too early. Like if I waited, I think it was like basically another second, that log would have hit the tombstone and killed those the death damage skeletons. Well, not death damage, but the death tombstone skeletons, whatever you want to call it. So go for a drop. He went for the golem right there. Now one thing that I could have done was I should have actually probably maybe saved my hog, but I actually didn't really need to, so I just cycled back to hog here because I want to make sure he makes a split push. So at the moment I've got a knight on the field and I've got some of his minions coming on the left lane and a golem on the right lane. Just gonna ignore those minions. I'm allowed to take, I'm happy to take a little bit of damage. Right here I tornado. Now this tornado was probably a little bit early, so a bad play on my part. So remember, always wait for your tornadoes. When you're versing golem, always make sure, try and avoid that death damage, because as you can see here, he actually did a decent amount of damage to my tower there. So not the best play on my part, but still not too much of the big deal at this point anyway. Just going for another golem. I'm going for another Hog Nado, and a log here. Yeah, I do. So this time I didn't stuff up the log, but the hog still doesn't get any hits. I'm okay with that because what I know in this deck, you can quite easily just rocket cycle him if you really need to. So all I need to do, it's double elixir. This is where the golem deck shines. So I need to make sure my defense is pretty good. So lightning is my executioner, well played by him. But obviously I have the tombstone and I have the tornado. So it's really up to it's really up to you if you want to use goblins or whatever. So here I think the hog gets a hit. I believe yes it does because I got rid of that tombstone. I think his high tombstone placement probably wasn't the best idea on his part. But other than that, I just go for a rocket and a log, and that's good game because I got a hit from that Hog Nado there. So that was quite an easy matchup. So yeah guys, when you're playing golem, always apply pressure, and make sure you don't overcommit so you can save elixir to defend against those golem pushes. Alright guys, jumping into the second replay against Elphaba. Now Elphaba, he's running Mega Knight. Now at this point I don't know he's using Mega Knight, so I placed down a tombstone, just a casual tombstone, because I don't really know what he has. Now definitely going to rocket that elixir collector. Make sure he doesn't get an elixir lead at all, because that won't be good. Getting an elixir disadvantage with this deck. So at the moment, just some casual players, just kind of see what he has. I'm just trying to get a feel for my opponent, kind of thing. Just see what's up. And yeah, so I'm just going to go for an Iceberg in the back just to cycle. Actually, no, I put a hog in front because I wanted to just do a hog Iceberg push. That's what, I recommend you doing. When you go for a Hog Nado push, it's actually definitely worth, in my opinion, going for an Iceberg or most people do it anyway, but definitely go for an Ice Spirit when you're using the Hog. He comes with Mega Knight. Mega Knight uses its charge jump, whatever you want to call it, on the skeleton. So then I can place down my Knight and defend quite easily with an Executioner and Mega Minion. I actually did mistime this Tornado slightly, but it's not really much of an issue. So other than that, things aren't looking bad at all. I'm just going to leave that Executioner. I'm not going to support it because I don't have much elixir anyway. So yeah, that's basically what's happened so far. And yeah, that's basically what's happened. So now, at this point, I actually don't know he has 3 Musketeers, so I'm just rocketing his pump like any player would. Now with this deck, you want to be rocketing his pumps, even if he does have 3 Musketeers. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a 3 Musketeers in a second. But apart from that, we should be good. So at the moment, I think he's got 1 elixir lead. No big deal. Now, he places all Musketeers in 1 lane. Now that's probably, you don't really see that every day. I place an Executioner in the back. Now he uses Minor quite well. Yes, he does distract my Executioner, so ideally you probably want to place the Executioner in the middle. Now I logged that, try to get some damage off it, and yeah, so things didn't work so well, but at this point you can probably tell that. Just Tornado, get another Exy down, just try and take it down like that. It's not too hard if you just can lock them and stuff. Now the Musketeer barely survives and gets a few shots on my tower. I'm not too concerned at this point at all, so no big deal at all. He comes to use Musketeers again. Now this time I'm just going to rocket the Musketeers. Now one thing I said before is don't save the rocket for the pumps, but what I actually do is I actually apply lots of pressure. So I don't want to, like I always want to be applying pressure and making sure he can't pump up. Now if you guys rewind the video just a second there, if you guys want, you could actually see the Mega Knight, what I do with the Mega Knight, put an Ice Spirit, like I separated the Ice Spirit a little bit, so he couldn't Mega Knight the Ice Spirit and the Hog Nado at the same time. So that's one thing I'll touch on later as well. So yeah, that's a pretty easy game. Place down my Hog Nado, I log, he gets the 3 Musketeers, probably not the best play in the world. But yeah, I can just rocket at that now because the Hog got a few hits, and that's a good game. So that's probably, you know, it's a hard-ish matchup because it's against Mega Knight, but other than that, it's a pretty easy game. And yeah guys, I'll jump into the next battle. Alright guys, jumping into a game against Reese. Well, this is a replay obviously. So third game of the day, we're going to be jumping against Reese right now. And basically, he's using a Elite Barbarian deck. He's using like the little combo, the arrows, the Valkyrie, and the Elite Barbarian. It's quite a popular combo. So yeah. So it's quite an actually, I would say this is a pretty easy matchup because as you guys can see right now, the execution doesn't work against the Elite Barbarian and Valkyrie combo, as just with the Tornado it just wrecks it. And yeah, unfortunately he plays my Knight, not the best play in the world, but I didn't really want to risk Elite Barbarian hit to my tower, so that's why I did that. So yeah, he's basically got himself his Witch and his Knight, and I just placed down a Tombstone, I believe. Yes, that's right. And nothing else is really happening. I'm just defending a bit. I think I do log here. Yeah. Okay, I'll log in a sec. So he gets go for Lumberjack. Now, I didn't really have the best things in hand, so I couldn't really defend, you know, quite well there. I do offer a log, and that knocks the Witch back and retargets it onto the Executioner. So everything's, I'm not really concerned at this point. Yes, he did get a few Lumberjack shots onto my tower, but I'm not concerned at all. He goes through a Valkyrie. That's going to take out my Executioner quite well, so well played by him, I guess. I placed down a Knife to defend against that Valkyrie. And yeah, so everything's, you know, going quite smoothly. Nothing big happening at the moment. He's going for Elite Barbarians in the back. I don't know why he did that in the back. He goes to the minions quite easily. I'm just going to go for an Ice Spirit, and I'm going to go for an Executioner. Now the Ice Spirit Tornado combo works really well, so you guys want to use that against minion hordes if you don't have Executioner Cycle. I definitely recommend you guys doing that. But yeah, so I got an Executioner, and I want to place down my Hog Rider in front of it to make use of the Executioner. So he's going to have to respond to the Executioner and the Hog Rider. So that's why he's going for his Lumberjack and his Knight. Now, it's a little bit of a counter push, no big deal. I can obviously deal with that with my Knight, and I got my Tombstone as well. So no big deal so far. That Tombstone is going to take out the Lumber. And as I said before, guys, you can actually use the Goblins as well. It's really up to your personal preference. I'll touch on that later as well. So, I'm using the Tombstone, obviously. So yeah, obviously, again, all I have to do is just Tornado this, and that's just going to destroy his little signature push, I guess. Well, not quite, because he didn't have Valkyrie that time, but whatever. It just destroys that push. So, everything's going quite smoothly. Here comes my log. Here comes my Ice Spirit. Didn't quite make it into where I wanted it there. But easily just going to Tornado that back, and that'll kill the Lumberjack. and everything. Now I opt to use a knight just to, I think that's probably really annoying there because I always try and protect my executioner when possible. That Hog Rider, I just kind of placed it down there to see if that would work. It didn't quite work, well it kind of did work in the end actually, because Hog Rider did get a hit on the tower, which is always good, and now all I have to do is rocket and log. So it's definitely a good game, and there's nothing much he can do, and all we're going to do is cycle back to log and take the win. Really easy. As I said before, it's a great deck of defending, and I really recommend it to you guys. It's an easy deck. So that's basically how the deck works, and let's jump into the next replay. Alright guys, jumping into the last match of the day right now against Santa from Larry's Legion, and he's running a really unusual deck, as you guys can probably see right now. He's running Mortar, Rocket, Inferno Tower, Picker. It's everything's happening here, guys. So obviously, he goes for Inferno Tower, I go for Knight to stop the Mortar, and yeah, the Hog Rider gets denied by the Inferno Tower. Nothing too bad now, I think he goes for a Mirror, but whatever. Yeah, he goes for a Mirrored Inferno Tower, so that's quite an interesting play by him. So yeah, so basically I'm just going to play it a bit slow because he did mirror his Inferno Tower, so there's no real reason to go offense because he'll just use his Inferno Tower to defend that. So that's why I'm not doing anything like that, just taking it easy. And it is the first minute of the match, so you don't want to go too offensive unless you really know what they have, kind of thing. So if you don't really know what deck they're running, definitely don't go too offensive. So now he's gone for P.E.K.K.A. Now this is a great, basically a good time to go for your Hog Rider. Now go for a prediction log. Now the reason why I went for a prediction log there is normally like in P.E.K.K.A. decks or Golem decks, they always have like more swarmy units. So I just, you know, took a bit of a guess and it did pay off there. So Hog Rider did about 700 damage to the tower, which is always good for the Hog player. So yeah, to defend against P.E.K.K.A.s with this a few things after this replay, guys. So basically, make sure you stick around. I'll be done. I'll talk about that in about a minute. It's just to make sure things like goblins or tombstone, a few things like that. Stick around for that. So yeah, basically, just playing it nice and slow. He's going for Inferno Tower. Now I know that's going to defend against all my pushes. So this time I think I opt for a rocket. Do I? Pretty sure I do. It looks like, yeah, I'll opt for a rocket because I know that he used 5 Electro on Inferno Tower. I can't really get too much damage in at that point, so I just went for a rocket. He does the same. But I definitely know I have the advantage here because I have the damage lead. So, nothing too bad at the moment. All I have to do is play pretty defensively and just get hog hits when I can. Now this time, I do make him a mistake. Yes, he used P.E.K.K.A. Should have waited because the Skeleton Army, I believe, yeah, the Skeleton Army and the Inferno Tower kind of ripped through my Hog Rider and my log was quite late. So yeah, not the best play in the world, but it's still all fine. He goes for another Mortar, so this deck, as I said before, it's a pretty weird deck. You probably won't come across decks like this. So it's not really much of a big deal. But he goes for a rocket. Well played by him by hitting everything there. And I go for a Hog Rider. He goes for Minion Horde. Not a bad counter. I use Ice Spirit so that my tower can two-shot them. And yes, basically, you know, a bit of neck to neck at the moment because he's going to get one more Mortar hit. But this is where he makes his mistake. He places his Inferno Tower and he uses log. So now I can't mirror his Inferno Tower. This is when I go all in with my Hog. He misplaces his Mortar or didn't time it properly, whatever. And yeah, my Hog Rider just takes the tower. Actually, not quite, sorry. But it's a lot of damage. Now that's in rocket range and that is good game, guys. So that's basically how you go against weird decks. You can try and rocket cycle them and sort of stuff like that. Now, guys, the last things that I want to touch on is today just some, you know, general tips. So when you're going against log-based decks like that, always Tornado the activate. Make sure you activate the King Tower because that's definitely going to help you out. Another thing, when you're going against Mega Knight, always place the Ice Spirit, like make a gap between the Hog Rider and the Ice Spirit, so the Ice Spirit actually jumps into the Mega Knight and freezes the Mega Knight, so your Hog Rider can get a hit, because there is that position where you can place the Mega Knight so the Hog Rider doesn't get any hits. One more thing a couple more things I want to say. Tombstone or Goblins, it's really up to personal preference. Like, if your Goblins get zapped, like one-shotted by the zap, then I'd probably edge towards Tombstone. But if you have high-level Goblins, or if you're playing at tournament standards, I would probably go for the Goblins, because I think they do a little bit more damage than usual. In these replays, since I was playing on ladder, I didn't go for the Goblins, because my Goblins aren't really at a high enough level, so I didn't quite use them. But it's really up to personal preference. I think the top players in the moment that use this deck do use Goblins, so it's really up to personal preference. So guys, it's a great deck of defending. It does well against basically all decks. The only weakness I'd say was Mega Knight, but if you use those tips I said before, the Ice Spirit thing, you can normally get like a Hog hit most of the time, so it's pretty good. And yeah, so that's basically all I've got to say today. Hopefully you guys use this tips. If you got any questions about this deck, please tell me in the comments below. I look at all the comments, so I'll definitely respond to you guys' questions. So yeah, that's basically for today's video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you do like this video, and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, because that'll be that'll be much appreciated. And yeah, so that's about it. So see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Yeah.